Hello, my friends. Here are the three big stories for today. I'm not going to talk anymore about the Trump $83.3 million verdict. I talked about it here, I talked about it here, and I talked about it in my three big stories last night. You can go back and see that if you're interested in that sort of thing. Ukraine says there's no evidence that POWs died in Russian plane. That's the IL-76 that was shot down a few days ago. This really was like a psych op from the Russians. It really threw Ukraine into a bit of a tailspin. Here is another AP article. Ukraine says it has no evidence for Russia's claim that POWs were killed or on the plane. Officials in Ukraine said it has provided no credible evidence to back its claims that their own forces shot down a military transport plane carrying Ukrainian prisoners of war who were to be swapped for Russian POWs. But Putin was lying about it. Knowing the POWs were on board, they attacked this plane. I don't know whether they did it on purpose or by mistake, through thoughtlessness. Putin said of Ukraine at a meeting with students in St. Petersburg, said there are black boxes. Everything will now be collected and be shown. No, it won't. Do you remember what happened? Again, Putin can say that kind of thing because he knows he's not going to actually bring it out. If there actually were bodies, you would have collected multiple bodies, more than the five. Do you remember what happened summer of 2022, I guess it was? Russia claims Ukraine killed its own POWs. Here's why few believe it. Well, remember this? They said that Ukrainians shot HIMARS into this POW camp where Azov fighters were held, and we still don't know. From summer 2022, Russia was calling for UN investigations, and nothing happened. I think Johnny from ATP Geopolitics did a really good job covering this yesterday with Greg Terry when they were talking. He said, look, what are the probabilities here? They're like, let's stack the probabilities this way and then that way and see where it adds up. And the way that you think about this is like guidance. When you hear hooves, think a horse rather than a zebra. Think a zebra rather than a unicorn. And if Russia tends to lie and they don't provide evidence and they've done this before, well, you can kind of stack up the evidence. Doesn't mean you'll get it right every time, but it'll help you think. Okay, next story. Ukraine levels up the fight with Russian drone strikes deep within Russia. They've done it 3 times into oil facilities, a 4th time to now to a gas pipeline. So over the last maybe 10 days, they've been and they're doing more of this. But the drones are coming in multi shapes. They're coming as sea drones. They're coming as air drones. They're coming now as a video appears to show a Ukrainian new Iron-Clad drone, like a drone tank. Like, think about that. And it can take small arms fire. It can't take everything, but drones are advancing, and it's the wave of the future. Last story here: U.S. is planning to send nuclear weapons to the U.K. amid threat from Russia. This is to send a message. The U.K. already has nuclear weapons of its own, so that's not the question. But just to say, you know what? It's going to get worse. We're sending you a message. Don't get even more antsy. All right, that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, subscribes, the coffees, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.